On the outside, the Swift sports a sleek and modern design. Suzuki have introduced a new Horizon design line that wraps around the vehicle, creating a sense of motion. Rounded shoulder lines give it a sporty edge, while the iconic Suzuki badge proudly sits at the front of the bonnet. Lower headlight positions and L-shaped daytime running lights not only enhance visibility, but also add a touch of sophistication. And check out those clear rear tailgate lights.
A LISTNR production.
G'day, it's Tom Perri with you. Heatwave conditions are being expected again in regional Victoria today, following a weekend of hot and dry weather. Yesterday saw the mercury reach 38 degrees in Bendigo, while in Mildura a high of 43 degrees was recorded. Meantime, communities across Sunraysia are being advised to stay informed today regarding any bushfire activity. It comes after grass fires took hold near Oyen and Calignan last night. 2 teenagers have been arrested in central Victoria following multiple incidents of hooning. Police allege the 18-year-olds from Longully and Kangaroo Flat were behind the wheel of a black BMW sedan that performed burnouts along Bendigo's Pall Mall on January 26th, rammed a police vehicle in Epsom last Thursday, and was involved in a pursuit on Friday morning. In addition to hooning offences, the pair are facing several charges, including using an unregistered car, displaying false number plates, and driving while disqualified. A telehealth service is apparently taking the strain off hospitals in the Mallee. The Sunraysia Daily reports that more than 200 bed days were saved last year at Mildura Base Hospital, owing to the Northern Mallee Health Connect program. And Rabobank is forecasting a decent outlook for our agricultural sector in 2025. Head researcher Stefan Vogel says the Victorian Commodity Index is placed well for the year ahead, but there are some struggling sectors.
Clearly one of the big ones is dairy, and dairy volumes have been a bit under stress for quite a while in Australia. It's not a growing sector, but we're overall volume-wise optimistic also for 25.
Another sweltering day is on the cards across central and northern Victoria, with the mercury staying in the high 30s in Bendigo and Mildura climbing up to 41. There won't be much in the way of relief either. Senior forecaster at the Weather Bureau, David Crock, says the heat is here to stay.
This is the hottest time of year, the first week or two of February, so certainly not unusual to have prolonged periods in the 30s.
Meantime, yesterday's hot and dry conditions saw a pair of fires break out near Bendigo, with CFA and forest fire management crews containing a blaze in the Kimbolton State Forest and a grass fire snuffed out north of Elmore. An exhibition focused on Mexican artist Frida Kahlo is coming to the Bendigo Art Gallery later this year. It's the latest in a string of high-profile events at the venue, which in recent years has presented displays on Elvis Presley and France's Musée Carnavalet. The City of Greater Bendigo's Anthony Pfefferbridge says these exhibitions are the result of a huge team effort led by the gallery's director, Jess Bridgefoot.
So she's just constantly working on attracting new exhibitions and new exciting projects to display the Bendigo Art Gallery. There's some great things going on, and I can guarantee you that she's going to continue working towards some great exhibitions in the coming years as well.
State Parliament resumes today in Victoria, and our pollies have already worked out what their priorities are for the year ahead. Among them is member for Mildura, Jade Benham, who says one of the things she'll be fighting for is better healthcare in Sunraysia.
We know that our Mildura-based public hospital needs 30 new ED beds as a matter of urgency to be able to cope with our growing population.
Victoria's top cop appears set for another 5 years as Chief Commissioner. The Herald Sun is reporting the government is close to offering Shane Patton a new contract, with the final details currently being put together ahead of his current contract expiring in June. Patton first assumed the role in 2020 and just last year publicly confirmed he would be keen to continue in the position. Australian states, including Victoria, could see their credit ratings downgraded unless they rein in their spending. That's the warning from global finance firm S&P, which issues the credit ratings for economies throughout the world, with spokesperson Anthony Walker telling The Age, "We have an increasingly loose approach to fiscal discipline." Victoria's credit rating is currently at AA after being downgraded from AAA during the pandemic. Today marks Extreme Heat Awareness Day across the country as parts of regional Victoria prepare to swelter through another 30-plus degree day. Antonia Mackay from the Red Cross says heat waves affect most of us.
2024 has been the hottest year globally and Australia's second hottest year on record. Rising global temperatures make extreme heat events more common and severe, which is why initiatives like Extreme Heat Awareness Day are critical.
The Victorian opposition is pledging to launch a review into the state's fire services. Speaking to the Weekly Times, Liberal leader Brad Patten said CFA volunteers were leaving the organisation in droves and there is a challenge in recruiting volunteers. His comments come amid the release of new figures showing there are now 8,000 fewer volunteers in the CFA compared to 10 years ago. And AFL circles are reeling after the passing of Troy Selwood. His death was confirmed in a statement from his family yesterday afternoon. Selwood was drafted as a player in 2002 following a stint with the Bendigo Pioneers. Just when we thought it was over, there's been another twist in the ongoing pay saga between Victoria Police and the state government. News Corp reports that the parties have been unable to agree on the wording of their latest wage agreement, with the Fair Work Commission having been called in again to settle the dispute. Meantime, members of the police union are expected to meet today and decide whether to hold a vote of no confidence in Chief Commissioner Shane Patton, who is set to be offered another 5-year term in the role. The number of dementia sufferers in central and northern Victoria is tipped to soar over the next 30 years, according to new data. Greater Bendigo will see its cases nearly double, rising by 91%, while in Mildura an increase of 87% is expected. But Dr. Cale Stokes from Dementia Australia says there are things we can do to lower the risk.
So risk factors include things like focusing on our vision and hearing. So if there's any vision loss or hearing loss, getting on top of that. Also making sure that we have a well-balanced diet, have plenty of exercise.
And foundations are being laid for 6 new properties that'll home rough sleepers in Mildura's CBD. The 1-bedroom units, plus one set aside for admin, will be used by the Mallee Accommodation and Support Program to help the region's most vulnerable. Acting CEO Charmaine Callis says it's good to see the project come together.
So we've just commenced construction, so we're hoping that the units will be finished by November and then we should be able to welcome our tenants soon after that.
Fresh pleas to stay safe on the roads have been issued by Victoria Police as the number of lives lost continues to climb. The latest data from the TAC shows 37 people have died since the start of the year, with 23 of those deaths occurring in regional parts of the state. Road Policing Assistant Commissioner Glenn Weir says police are appalled by those figures.
It was the worst January for deaths on the road in 25 years, and in particular the increase in death on regional roads is a real concern for us.
Residents of Bendigo will be among those reflecting today as Victoria marks 16 years since the Black Saturday bushfires. The city was among several parts of the state impacted on the day, with 384 hectares burnt and one man losing his life in the suburb of Eaglehawk. Parts of central and northern Victoria can expect to see a huge jump in dementia sufferers over the next 30 years. New data shows Greater Bendigo will see its cases nearly double, rising by 91%, while in Mildura an increase of 87% is expected. Dr. Cale Stokes from Dementia Australia says those figures highlight the need for a national conversation on brain health.
It's really important that we have a healthcare and disability and aged care system that's able to support them, but also as a community that we can understand what dementia is, how it impacts people, and the role that we can all play, not only in better understanding dementia, but also focusing on our own brain health too.
And briefly, construction has begun on a block of units in Mildura's CBD that'll be used to house rough sleepers. In basketball, the Bendigo Spirit have again proven too good for their rivals in the WNBL, downing the Southside Flyers by 19 points last night at Red Energy Arena. Bendigo led at every change, Sammy Whitcomb again top scoring with 33 points. To sport, and in local cricket, the Settlers have snuck into top spot on the ladder in the Sunraysia women's competition after defeating Nichols Point Green by 7 wickets on Friday evening. Elsewhere, Mildura East claimed bragging rights with a 10-run win against Irimple. Round 10 of the Emu Valley Cricket Association resumes tomorrow, with second-placed Spring Gully on track for a first innings victory on their home deck. The Crows are sitting on 1 for 64, chasing down 194 against Emu Creek. Meantime, this Sunday sees the Emu Valley T20 final being played at Mandurang Reserve between the Lions and United. Sunday will see the final round of the Bendigo District Cricket Association's women's competition being played. Golden Square remains on top of the ladder and undefeated heading into the weekend. Coach Sarah Manners says their season has gone well.
We had a couple of changes from our side from last year. If anything, probably strengthened it a little bit, which was really nice. So yeah, it's been a really great year so far.
Unleash your vehicle's power beyond limits. Discover our exclusive range of Yuasa automotive batteries, engineered for unparalleled reliability and performance to power your journey like never before. Battery World. Power your passion.